Hello there.
How you going, guys?
We're back for another week.
We sure are. We're right across town tonight. We're doing it remote, but we've got something very exciting for you.
Special.
Absolutely. We a couple of weeks ago, we did an episode where we talked about bands that had their debut album in 1985. We're going to pick up on one of those tonight, and it's Aha, of course. That opening song is an absolute ripper.
It is, and we're going to play it in order because I think it tells a story, even with the video clips as well, and it's really important. And welcome to all the Aha fans that have just fallen on our podcast for the first time. We love new fans, and I know Aha people love stuff like this, you know.
Absolutely. So I'm Jay Jovi.
I'm Sammy Hardon.
This is the 80s Montage. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Tonight we're going to be reviewing Hunting High and Low, which was released on the 10th of June 1985 and is actually an incredible album. It was done through Warner, which is a huge signing for, a debut act to go with Warner. And it's a really great album. We're going to sort of piece through it song by song. And, got a few little stories from behind the scenes. Beautiful album. Can't wait to jump into this. We haven't done an album review for a while, I don't think.
Forever. And it's 40 years too, which this album will be in June, which is great.
That's right.
And I just love the fact that people think that Take On Me was their only song. It's like, no, it wasn't. And when we look at this album, it'll really help you understand that it's a masterpiece. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, absolutely. And it's sort of what I love about it is that they wrote it. You know, they wrote a lot of it. Majority of the album is written by I guess you say Pal Vakta, who is the guitarist. He wrote most of the tracks. The three of them wrote it, so because it did so well, they would have made a lot of money out of this as well, which is great. You know, these guys coming out, debut album, it's a huge hit, and it's sold all around the world. Great that they sort of made some decent coin out of it as well.
Well, this song was written by Paul and Mags in their first band, Bridges, and it was called Miss Uri. And then they were 15 and 16, and he wanted it to sound like The Doors, Ray Manzarek, and especially Mags because he loved Ray Manzarek. The thing with this song is it wasn't until Morton came along and went, that keyboard riff isn't bubblegum, it's a world-class hit. And that's when they all came together after the fact and put this song out. But this song wasn't an easy birth at all.
No, it wasn't. They actually released it 3 times, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. My thoughts on this song, I do love performing this song. I don't think it's their greatest track. The thing for me that makes this work is 100% the video.
Oh, for sure. That's right. Yeah. And this is what sort of allowed them to break through on the international market was the video for this song. And it was interesting because the songs are incredible, but I think the world needed to see this band, see these guys move and, get a gauge of their sort of visual aura as well. And then they really took off, because the video is fantastic. They released this sort of 3 times. First 2 times it just didn't chart. They were trying to sort of release it in the UK, and it didn't take off. These guys are from Norway originally, and it just sort of didn't hook in. The third time they released it with they did have a clip on the second go.
That's right. Yeah.
Have you seen the original clip lately?
Yeah, I have. Look, the clip. The clip is one of the most iconic 80s clips ever. And it was the first time Steve Barron had done or directed with Michael and Candace the whole theory of it. Like they basically had this new theory, which is having art involved with video clips.
Yeah.
It was a brand new technology almost, but it wasn't. It was just a really incredible thought out process that brought the song to the forefront, I think.
Yeah, that's right. The sort of the technique that you will know this video clip from is called rotoscope animation, and it's where the animators basically draw over the top of film frames and piece them all together, so it looks like the drawings are moving. It's really appealing. It's a really beautiful effect. They used it on 3 tracks on this album. We'll sort of talk about them as they go, but it's sort of. It's a very iconic 80s clip, this. Like, everybody knows Take On Me and Aha because of this sort of rotoscope animation that they used in the clip. It's a beautiful looking clip. So you might know Steve Barron, who's an Irish director originally, famously did Billie Jean. He famously did Billie Jean. He did Burning Up with Madonna. He did Africa by Toto. He did Summer of '69. Don't You Want Me. He did Money for Nothing, I believe, as well, with Dire Straits.
Yeah.
So he'd done some amazing clips. He was really hot. This film director was really hot. I look at sort of, the band predominantly wrote the tracks on the album. The producers of the album, it was recorded in the UK. The producers on the album weren't sort of big hit makers or anything like that. They were just sort of jobbing producers. They did have some sort of names behind them, like on their resume. They were sort of notable producers, but it's not like they went to Berry Gordy or something like that. It's not like they went to Pharrell Williams or something like, you know what I mean? They didn't go to some big hit maker.
But in saying that...
It was the film clip, really.
Yeah. Well, in saying that, though, Tony Mansfield did Naked Eyes, Captain Sensible, Vicious Pink, your favourite, After the Fire.
Yeah, I love them.
So the thing is, After the Fire and Captain Sensible were kind of those concept songs, like I said, Captain, I said, what? I said, Captain, I said, what you want? And I love those freaking songs. You know what I mean? So maybe he was just attracted to something different.
And I think I think he would have, as a producer, he would have allowed them just to be quirky and weird. They are, although they're beautiful looking guys, it's a really quirky sound. It's a really clean, synthy, trebly, and quite an innocent and airy sounding band at times. You know what I mean? They can be very light and in the clouds. They're very sort of astral. And it's wonderful that as producers they allowed them to be that without trying to turn them into a big rock band or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's right. If you had have got a producer that changed her sound, it may not have worked, And this is probably why they did go. But Alan, I think it was Taney, was a guy that lived in Adelaide for many years in Australia.
Oh, he did.
Alan Taney, sorry.
Yeah.
And interesting that he's from England, but he lived in Australia for a long time and met a lot of musicians and ended up on this record. But Take On Me, I think for me is a fantastic song. I love performing it. But I've got Aha on DVD live, and there's so many other songs, and even the Aha fans would probably agree with us in saying that, because they were full musicians,
Yeah, that's right. Hey, interesting that you bring up Alan Tarney and him sort of doing some time in Australia. He did do some stuff famously with Cliff Richard and Olivia Newton-John as well. And both Cliff Richard and Livy do have that kind of light, airy quality to their music. You know what I mean?
Their vocal,
that sort
absolutely.
Of non-judgmental innocence to the music, and I mean, it could have just as well been sort of Alantani, but what a wonderful combination anyway. You know, the three guys, the three producers, and then the three guys within the band as well. Fantastic. But I mean, look, like we're saying, this video clip really blew up by Steve Barron. Everybody loves it. Everybody knows it. They know this effect. It's iconically 80s, and I love the new clip. It's beautiful. I think the vocal in the original clip is a lot more prominent, and you can really sort of hear the vocal beautifully in the first clip. They've really boosted the instrumentation, I guess, to come up to where the clip is, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and also, it would have had to been sparkled up for sure, you know.
Yeah.
Michael Patterson and Candice Reckoner, I think they were a husband and wife team that also worked on the video, and Steve Barron directed it. So it was sort of a three-way thing, but we see this theme, as we're going to talk about later on, come back again, and it's quite funny, you know. When something works, you know, keep working, you know what I mean? But second track, should we go to second track?
Yeah, I was just going to say Steve Barron's clips. I always think of directors and look at their, especially when they have like an amazing body of work like this, and I look for the similarities and the idiosyncrasies. I guess you could say with Steve Barron, he used very dewy lenses, like very kind of frosty Hollywood lenses, so that everything kind of looked like ethereal and otherworldly, you know, like gave it an old Hollywood feel. It really sort of softened everything and made it glow, you know. You look at Billie Jean, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. But he'd never done anything like this before, and look, the only video that was up against this at the time that won the most awards was Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel and Big Time by Peter Gabriel, which is also one of those iconic videos that will be in our theatre show soon. And you just remember those videos and you think, wow, the amount of time, animation, obviously, that they've spent on these videos, but they won a lot of awards.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the following year after this album was released, they were nominated for Best New Artist at the Grammys. And for a Norwegian band to have that kind of recognition at the Grammys a year later, that's phenomenal. You know,
incredible,
so
honey.
it really did grab the world by the balls, this song and this album.
Now, I hadn't heard this second track for a while, and it came back to me. We're obviously going to play Train of Thought, Aha. The production is spotless on this record. Absolutely spotless.
Yeah, it is.
Here we go. Train of Thought. Love it.
There we go. Now, this was actually the fourth single released from the album, even though it's track 2. It was fourth single released from the album. There was a single. Now, you know, every in terms of the world stage, Take On Me was, their first song and their first big release. The first single that was released on this album was one later in the album, which we'll talk about, but it was only released in Norway. Take On Me, therefore, is the second single, but the first on a larger scale. Train of Thought being the fourth. Now, this one, very, very David Bowie vocal, don't you reckon?
Yeah, that last bit reminded me of something that it was almost Captain Sensible, which is funny.
Yeah, right.
So Captain, what was the line he just sang, the last one? It was just a throwaway kind of pommy thing that I could hear in there. I'd have to hear it back.
They were really big on with their writing, finding phrases that both in Norwegian and in English would have resonance. They came up with the name of the band because of this reason. Like it meant something. It meant something in English. It meant something in Norway. It would have resonance. So they're lyrically they're really interesting as well.
Yes, definitely. I think that was a bit of the problem at the start with Take On Me, and the English barrier, I think, gave them a bit of a hard time with producers and record companies and stuff. I don't think they had the greatest time, as you can imagine, because they were Norwegian, and really, how many bands were coming out of Norway? Not many.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Now, you'll hear him sort of later in the song as well, saying "aha, aha, aha." You hear it quite a bit, which I thought was a really beautiful little detail. Amazing range on this. You don't hear a lot of that really like Bowie, like lower kind of register, the tucked in chin kind of Bowie thing. You don't hear Morton doing a lot of that. Even though he goes down low, you don't hear it sort of this particular quality. But in this song, he really soars with the vocal as well. It's amazing. Now, the clip for this, even though it was released as the fourth single, I think this was the first clip that was recorded. This was the first clip that they did with Steve Barron, and the animated material. So the rotoscoping animated effect that they did in this clip, because this, like I said, this is one of three where they do this effect. This was the first time they tried it out in this clip, and so the material that you see in this old clip inspired what you see in Take On Me. They were like, fuck, that's really effective, that's amazing. And then they sort of bounced that across to Take On Me. So what I'm talking about is the footage, the vintage footage that was shot. That was all shot first. So it's interesting,
Awesome.
Isn't it?
Yeah, look, I mean...
Pan flute. Pan flute is the other thing.
Yeah,
Pan
traditional.
flute is the other thing. Can you see my phone? I did a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Did you see that? See, look.
Yeah, I did. Wow, you did. Mine doesn't do that.
My phone's
my God.
amazing.
It's all listening to us. Thumbs up, and it's got a thumbs
scary,
up.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it
Look,
is
there
a bit
it is.
scary. And in a bubble, a voice bubble. Bloody hell. You got a new phone or something?
Yeah,
do that?
Mika bought me a yeah, it should do that. No, maybe just a thumbs up. Mika bought me a 16 for Christmas. It's fucking incredible because my old one was all smashed and being held together just by the case.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
Yeah. So this is nice.
Train of Thought, I think the chorus is really strong. I love it. Da, 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 da. Beautiful. And you really hear him sing. You really do. Morton, he just flies. Right. Absolutely. Track 3, this is the album single. Here
Beautiful.
we go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here I am, and within the reach of my hand, she's sound asleep, and she's sweet sweeter now than the wildest dream could have seen her, and I watch her slipping away. But I know I'll be hunting high and low. There's no end to the lengths I'll go to, hunting high and low. There's no end to the lengths I'll go to find her again. Upon this my dreams are depending. Through the dark I sense the pounding of her.
Love.
Beautiful. So this is a Tony Mansfield. The album version was a Tony Mansfield production. Really beautiful. Mid-tempo track. This was the 5th and last single that they would release from the album. And it being the sort of namesake single for the album as well. You know, it was a big deal. Yeah, beautiful track as well.
This is where,
really lovely.
Yep. This is where you can see they've made some money as well, because the video clip, the cinematography in this is incredible with the eagle and the footage of the snow and everything. This is where you couldn't buy footage like that. You actually had to go out and shoot the footage, you know. So you can see the money in this video clip. Even though Aha Take On Me was probably expensive, this was just shot on film. It's got this amazing, and before AI, like you couldn't have done this, I don't think, in a video or like, you know, produced it on a computer. I could be wrong, but I think it's way too early. I think they would have shot this live and, you know, gone out to the actual area, you know.
Yeah, for sure. This was I think their last collab with Steve Barron as well. I think he did 4 clips with them. This may have been the last one.
Yeah.
Pretty sure 4. Yeah, 4. Yeah, it was 4. Yeah, and as you're saying, obviously bigger budget. This has come out as the 5th single, and so you know the upswing from Take On Me is really taking effect around the world. They've got a lot more money being thrown into it by the label, and what you see is what you get. It's a beautiful clip.
I remember the time as well, and I think it was a time with Aha where they were a bit concerned they weren't taken so seriously and becoming a pop band. So they would put this out as a mature growth thing that it absolutely reminds me of a Jamiroquai song, actually. Ma-na-na-na-na-na-na, me in many ways, where he shoots the desert and stuff. And it's sort of, I reckon Jamiroquai would have seen this as a kid for sure, because it's very atmospheric, and if there's a word such as that, and it's got an animal in it, and it touches your heartstrings. Very different from their other stuff. And lovely that they used it as the title track, because that's really clever, because it's not like the other songs, you know.
Yeah, that's right. There was something really controversial. There was like a minor controversy surrounding this as well. In and around the Gulf War in '91, they sort of banned it for a very small period from being aired on BBC Radio. They were banning a lot of songs around this time because of their the radio station, well, BBC, didn't want people to think that they were associating certain songs with the Gulf War. And this was one of them, which is quite strange. But it's, a really beautiful song. Now, I especially love this when they did it on MTV Unplugged. I think the performance that they did on MTV Unplugged in 2017 was phenomenal. It really... I remember seeing it and it just blowing me away. It really made me appreciate the band, you know, and their musicianship. really beautiful. And they did a really lovely version of this on MTV Unplugged.
Yeah, interesting that you said this guy worked with Michael Jackson. Did he do black and white, this guy? Because he turns into a shark and does that animal thing. You know what I mean?
That's right.
It's sort of it's visually, it's so expensive, you can just tell, but I appreciated it. I appreciated it, and I thought they needed a little bit of a change, but the MTV thing, you're right, because you're breaking down and you're just using acoustic instruments, you hear everything so clearly, and you could hear that Morton could sing, you could hear the boys could play, and that was a really good MTV Unplugged was fucking good for some bands, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, great.
To showcase
absolutely.
them.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a I remember seeing, like, I remember sort of George Michael doing it and it just being mind-blowing, and some artists sort of really flourish. I remember seeing Gwen Stefani doing it just recently though. Did you see that?
No.
And I remember one of the comments was, not everyone's built for Unplugged.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because she was singing shit like this shit is bananas, BANA, and it's like acoustic.
I can't stand that track.
Yeah.
Acoustic, yeah. You may as well have done the kiddie version that Night Show does. The kiddie version with all the little kids' toys.
Yeah.
I think she did do that actually. Yeah, look, it's not for everyone, but for AHA, it made them just seem incredible, because you got to remember when something sounds so glittery and glistened and so beautifully produced, you sometimes wonder as a fan, I wonder what they're like live. That was a big thing in the 80s.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're any good live, Nowadays people will go and see a fucking banana with a skirt on that sounds like shit and not give a crap. But in the 80s, our ear palette was so delicate, we wanted it to sound like the record,
That's it. Absolutely.
Or
Yeah,
another
that's right.
experience.
Now, we'll push through. We're almost at the halfway mark. The next one is Blue Sky. This is the second last track on the A side.
Here we go. Blue Sky,
Beautiful synth.
Oh, well,
Beautiful synth work in this.
Tony Mansfield was the Fairlight expert, like he just slept with them and he just knew how to do all this stuff. I really like, there's a lot of arpeggios in AHA, which are incredible. I'm a big arpeggio fan, and that's why when you see AHA live, they have so many tracks on keyboard because you have to have stuff on tracks like arpeggios. You can't stand there and just play. We've talked about this before when you've got strings and stuff all over the top. Incredible production, but heaps of space.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there is a lot of space, and I actually find it for a mid-80s track for that to be quite bold, because there was a big trend to just overproduce and kind of like fill all that empty space. The producers on this album have allowed the album to just flow, and not overproduce the tracks. This can go over a lot of people's heads, and for tracks like this, which weren't a single, for them to be sort of overlooked, which I think is really unfair. Something that I don't appreciate in just something that I don't prefer in an album is actually the way that Michael Jackson does his albums, which is more like a collection of singles. Like each of his songs are completely different universes. That's not the case with, say, this album. This is very much the same album, and
100%.
It's got a beautiful sense of flow, you know?
Absolutely, and it tells a story. And there's a link, and they linked them up as well with the videos. But I love this track. I think it's fantastic. And, you know, this album is one of those albums that you get and it grows on you. It just grows on you. It's a slow grower.
Absolutely.
Like you go, oh, this track's all right, but this is the third time I've heard this today, and I can tell you I love it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
Which
awesome.
is great.
And now, look, we might just jump on to the last track from side A straight away.
Here we go. Yep.
It's called Living a Boy's Adventure Tale.
Geez, I hope Pal plays the skin flute a bit more in this album because I haven't heard any guitar so far. What does he do live?
No, that's right. Yeah.
Really
Considering he
interesting.
sort of wrote majority of the work, that's a very interesting point, isn't it? Yeah.
Because I know Take On Me, there's no guitar.
No, that's it. Yeah. This sort of mid-tempo thing, it's interesting. I probably wouldn't have closed the closed side A with this track. I probably would have inverted it and had this second last and had Blue Sky last to close that album. I just think Blue Sky is the stronger track, and I just think the closing song of a vinyl should be a little less ambiguous than this. And you know, this is talking from a vinyl perspective when track listing actually meant something, because you were meant to just sort of play it from beginning to end. But yeah, I mean, I still appreciate this track. I probably just would have had it second last.
Well, you've got Hunting High and Low though, so you're really slowing the album down if you don't pick it up. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
It's
yeah.
sort of-
Yeah.
That's the only reason I can see they probably would have done it, because
Fair enough. Yeah, that's fair.
it's a Hunting High Low is like, you know, that beautiful, mysterious sort of slow ballad into Blue Sky, picks it up again. And you got to remember, kids into the 80s and the Norwegian way would have been, don't go down too much, don't do too much, we need to keep the teenagers up, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason I can see it, because I don't know. I probably
I
would
didn't
have
think of
skipped
that.
the
That's
tracks.
a good point. Yeah,
but
yeah.
now we've got a TV commercial. This is a ripper. Everyone's sending us TV commercials. Please send them in. We are loving it. Lily, I got your one, darling. That's amazing. We will use this next week. This is one from our producers, Maddie. He's wanted to hear this one. Here it is now.
It's a kitchen table, card table, pool table, sewing table, dining table, operating table, multiplication table, bedside table. It's the stable table, a steady flat surface wherever you need one. For under $10, it's irresistible.
Stable
And
table.
let's face it, guys. Let's face it. It's a joint smoking table as well. A joint
It
rolling
is.
table.
Yes,
You
a
know?
speed table.
Let's just face it now.
$10.
Now, very excited. We got very excited about the magic mushrooms because we sort of had really forgotten about that, and that was really prominent. And that came back the week before. Now the stable table. Holy shit!
So big.
You guys
Granny
bought one
had it.
online.
We did. Maddie brought one online. When he was little, though, his mum brought one, and they were like $10, as they said in the commercial. And he was looking for the other tables in the box because he was looking for the pool table and the whatever table. And he's like, "How come
what
there's
a
only one table? You've been
dumbass."
ripped off." I know, right? So funny. He's gone, "Where are the other tables?"
Fuck yeah.
Couldn't
We had
find 'em.
one of these as well.
We
and
did, yeah.
everyone used to fight over it. Everyone used to fight over the bloody stable table. And I broke it.
Yeah, well, that's it. Oh,
I fucking
wow.
broke it. Yeah, it
How?
got stuck. It got stuck under the couch, and everyone was grabbing for it, and we pulled it up, and it sort of you know how it had a little lip on it around the corner. The lip snapped, but
Wow.
everyone still used it. Everyone continued to use it. Yeah.
I think that lip snapped a lot on these things
Yeah,
because I
right.
remember going to people's houses and seeing that lip gone.
Your
Your lip
did
snapped.
it?
Yeah, oh God. But you go over and had dinner at your granny, they would have one. Or they'd be sewing on them.
For sure.
You know.
For
But
sure.
the shittest
Old people
design.
love them.
Old people love them. Boomers love them. Love it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Shittest
That's
colour?
a rip up. Shittest colour, that beige freaking thing. Same as the mushrooms.
Yeah.
Same
that's
colour.
right.
You
That sort
know?
of peachy beige fucking plastic.
Yeah, with a little beanbag underneath it, you know?
That's it.
All right, so we're going side 2 now.
Side B, it jumps off with a cracker. Let's play it.
How can it be? The sun always shines on TV. Hold me close to your heart. Touch me. Give all your love to me. To me.
Beautiful track, really accomplished. Whereas sort of Take On Me is a straight down the line sort of disco pop track. This has, it's almost operatic in some sections. It's real. It's got playing with different tempos and completely different feelings in different sections, and it's a really great track. This might be my favourite on the album.
Yeah, that's right. So this is where I love it, because you see Bunty again. Bunty's in at the start, and he goes to touch her, and his hand turns into the cartoon thing that is Take On Me, and she gets a fright. It's almost thrillerish, like, oh my God, it's triggering me. I'm going to lose him into the fucking cartoon world again, that kind of vibe. And then it says the TV. So they're really having a go at TV here. And
now, have
which
you
was
noticed?
interesting.
Have you noticed? So they do that in the intro, which is sort of it really is a bookend from the previous clip, which is Take On Me. So it sort of is a bit of it wraps up, and
Well, it's a second single, isn't it? It's a second single.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So it sort of wraps up the story, wraps up the narrative, and then sort of moves into a different section. When the TV pops up, it has Channel 3 written, and I swear to God, it looks like a cock and balls so intentionally that it cannot be a mistake.
Wow.
I showed my colleagues today at work, and I was like, what does that look like to you? And they were like, cock and balls.
Yeah. Cock and
I was
balls.
like, yeah.
Well,
And
we're
they
all
said,
thinking
"What's
cock
that?"
and balls.
I said
Morton
it's
Harket.
a I actually think it was them perhaps like being a little bit playful. It looks like a cock, like there is no mistake. It's a cock and ball.
Well, they're Norwegian. They've got huge cocks, I reckon. Right?
Yeah.
So the saying goes, anything Swedish or whatever Norwegian. I love it because the mannequins in the video really used a lot of mannequins, like the naked mannequins
were very
fucking
80s.
Awesome. Very
Yeah.
80s. For the woke people, don't look at naked bodies, so don't look at the video, but I'm sure none of the AHA fans. I love the video. I thought it was great. I love videos shot in black and white as well, because it's just so beautifully. It's like art,
Yeah,
yeah,
he did some
pretty
interesting. This is another Steve Barron. He did some interesting stuff with the colouring in this. At some points, it's black and white, but he sort of brings that level up and down. So he'll bring the saturation back a little bit. So you'll get a little bit of skin tone, and then it'll back off to sort of black and white. He sort of undulates it. It's really interesting. But shot in a Gothic church.
Yes.
Which again, that was very 80s as well, to sort of, have light streaming in through the LED lighting in the church and all that kind of thing. And I thought very clever use of the faces and the mannequins to make it look like they were playing in front of a crowd. I thought that was a really interesting comment.
That's right.
Now
and
this
again,
one,
I didn't
this
hear
song,
any
I
guitar.
was just going to say, oh yes, that's right. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. Now this song famously finally got them their UK number one, because I think Take On Me, although I'm pretty sure Take On Me went to number one in the US, it didn't go to number one in the UK. And that really meant a lot to them because, they had previous rejection with Take On Me on its first releases. So they finally got their UK number one with Sun Always Shines on TV. And with the film clip, one more point, the very last frame of the band, it's like a freeze frame of the band, is the very first frame of Train of Thought, which would be the next single. So these three... Yeah, those first three clips really did form a nice little visual trilogy, thematic trilogy,
Yeah, linked up. And that was really clever because, like you said, the album was like that, it was a journey, and it was something that
that's right.
It didn't sound like separate songs. They sounded like they still have their own separate sound, but the energy's similar,
For real, absolutely.
All right, track
beautiful.
Here we go. The next track is
7.
a ripper too. Here we go.
Please don't hurt me. I have told you all my love is all I've got. And tomorrow is the day when I, for your sake, I'm coming back. And you tell me that I don't love you. I'm trying hard to make you jealous, trying harder to make you stay. Days are long and nights are crazy. It's so strange when you're away, and you tell me that I don't love you. Because I love you, I will show you all the
There you go.
Cute.
If you love a ballad. Yeah, it is cute. Very soft. Not
Yeah.
my favourite track on the
No.
album. I just like a bit more of a beat personally from them.
Mm.
But beautiful, lovely. So obviously what they wanted to do sort of in that area to make it very light and fluffy like that. And they just let it be what it was,
Yeah, that's right. And it was just a filler, and I don't know. And you tell me it's sweet if you listen to the lyrics, but it just
Yeah.
depends on what frame of mind you're in, I guess.
Mind you, their fans love this track.
Oh, yeah. Well, this would be their, what's that Simple Minds track? The one that everyone loves. It's really religious.
Oh, I thought I was going to say this is their sort of Duran Duran's "Save It to the Morning After" kind of thing,
Save a prayer.
It's the Save a Prayer, yeah.
It's a fucking
yeah.
big call. That's a big call. Save a
Oh,
prayer.
but you know what I mean. You know what I mean
Yeah.
to the
You should have played
AHA
the pan
fans.
flute. Should have played the pan flute to fucking sound like
Yeah.
that. Ha!
Yeah.
But again,
Yeah.
no guitar. Unbelievable. Here we go. Now, we picked up on this last week's episode, and this is what gave us the idea, which was the 40-year anniversary. And this song is very different, and you will hear that. Here we go.
My breath is coming fast, and as I make a start, you turn to go. Oh, oh. I'll do what you want me to. I'll cry at the thought of the loss of a heart. Love is reason. Love is reason. Love is reason. Love is reason. My morals are changing fast. I told you.
There you go.
It really does pump that song. It's great. Look, this was in all reality the first release from the album, but they only released it in Norway and the Philippines. And I just think, what the fuck were they trying to achieve? Like, what how can you possibly test anything by releasing it in Norway and the Philippines? It's sort of so random. I get Norway, but the Philippines?
Oh, look, I don't know. Money? Lack of income? I don't know. Maybe it was cheaper
Yeah,
to
but-
release in the Philippines and
I don't
print
know. Wouldn't you do
CDs
it in
or
a
something?
neighbouring? Wouldn't you do it in a neighbouring European country, or wouldn't you do it like say in Australia, which a lot of bands did around this time? Because like if they were trying to release it just to get a test of if people like their sound or not, without sort of blowing their load on their bigger hits, Wouldn't you do that in Australia like everybody else did? You
No.
know what I mean?
And I'll tell you why.
Right.
Because if it fucked it fucked you. If this
Yeah,
didn't
right.
work in Australia, Take On Me wouldn't even have been fucking looked at. So I think that
okay.
they were a bit afraid of this song, I think. And this song does stick out as the one that sounds like the different kid, you know? It's definitely the
It
different
does.
child.
And you know what? To be honest, I thought it sounded a little bit like Stock Aitken and Waterman at the beginning.
Well, that's what I said, this last week. That riff is very Stock Aitken and Waterman.
yeah.
I can hear the fear in this track where they probably went, let's try it here. It's cheaper to press in the Philippines and let's do it in our own country because we play there.
Yeah. Okay.
But put it on the
Yep, that
album
makes
because
sense.
at the end of the day, the album made so much money for them. The fact
Yeah.
that Paul wants to do another Take On Me, it's not actually even about Take On Me. It's actually
No.
about an album that sold millions of copies
Yeah.
where
gotcha.
you no longer need to work, you know.
100%.
Love is Reason. I like it, but it's definitely not my fave.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sort of, this gets sort of outshined by like Sun Always Shines on TV. Much better
Oh,
track.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah.
But you put it
All
on
right.
the
We're up
record.
to.
Oh, yeah,
What's
here we
that?
go. You put it on the
number
record
9.
and it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
Number
this
9,
is-
I Dream Myself Alive. I like that title.
Oh, yeah.
Dream myself alive. I dream myself alive. You can't deny there's something dark against the light. All I can say, it doesn't have to be this way. We'll be chasing our tails madly. See days pass like wildfire. Right from the start, I knew this world would break my heart. I dream myself alive. Dream myself alive. I dream myself alive. Break my heart.
Yeah.
There we go.
I thought
that
it was
there as well.
Yeah, I thought it was I Dream Myself Alive. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Alive.
Oh, yeah?
But it's
I
alive.
don't have a life.
Yeah, well, that's right. Oh, there you go. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all.
It's a bit more inspiration than Love Is Reason, definitely. Yeah, beautiful vocal. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. The thing is, when you go to, I went and saw Aha at Day on the Green when Maddie was touring with, and I realised how intense their fans are. Like they
Yeah.
just love every song. They know every
God,
lyric.
yeah.
It's actually when they put these video clips in the churches and stuff, for these fans, it is a religious experience.
100% I agree. Yeah, yeah.
You
That's
know,
right.
and they haven't
Yeah.
actually taken the fans to church. The fans have taken them to church, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's right.
And I just love the fact that they were really sensitive towards their fan base, because you would sometimes probably get off, because they didn't tour until like Take On Me was really huge. They'd never done a live gig before. So
Yeah.
they got out and did that and made sure they were really well polished, and the fans just couldn't believe it, you know.
Yeah.
But-
yeah.
Yeah, here we go. So
Yeah.
Dream Myself
I think,
Alive.
I think maybe I think maybe this album is so sacred to their fans because on the second album, on Scoundrel Days, they started moving away from sort of synth pop. It was much more sort of like going in an alternative rock direction because synth pop was starting to die out in the latter part of the 80s and not being as cool. And yeah, they started sort of being much more. Yeah, you could definitely hear the guitars in the second album. So it's like this whole album is a time capsule for the fans, and therefore very it takes them back instantly. It's very special to them.
Well, that's right, and they did do this album at Day on the Green. It's in its entirety. I think maybe he wanted to play more guitar on the next record, but
yeah,
a lot of our
right.
fans love all their records. They love all of them, and they are like a special band, and they're more of a cult following than you actually really know. I didn't know this about them when I went and saw them because we were like, oh, my God, Take On Me is the first track. They're going to play that and then that's the end of the gig. It wasn't for the AHA fans. It was, this is what we're here for. It's not just Take On Me. So very interesting when bands have a fan base like that are really serious about their art,
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
All right, next track.
All right. Number 10. This is the final track of the album, guys.
Here we go. Here I Stand and Face the Rain. That's a banger as well. I absolutely love it. And you got that churchy start. You can imagine hearing this live. It would be incredible because the sound these guys give out is nothing but amazing. Like, it's incredible. Oh, thank God. Good on you. Yeah. There you go. It goes the opposite side. Thumbs up. Thumbs up for Pal. Pal. So full on. Wow. It is a scary way, yeah. There you go. What do you think of this track, babe? Totally. And the album's really special. So you've got a little bit of a glimpse of Hunting High and Low. Steve Barron did go through to work with them and direct their videos right up until the year 2000. So it was interesting because I've just had a look and they really loved his work. And why wouldn't you? Like, you know, the good thing is when you find the right people, you should always stick with them unless something drastic happens. But people don't really get that concept of sticking with the right people and creating that same magic. You know, they really get rid of people quickly nowadays, where in the 80s, when you found the right person, he was almost part of the band, you know.
Gotcha. 100%.
And I think Steve Barron was part of the band because without that video, Take On Me probably wouldn't be their biggest hit, you know.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I've got Aha Live on DVD that I got from some country that I went to and toured, and you couldn't get it in Australia, and I just watched it. They're a little bit like Nina. You think Nina is only 99 Luftballons, and then you see them live and you go, what the fuck is happening? This is
that's
just
right.
incredible, you know?
Yeah. They were absolutely one of those bands where their bigger hits sort of don't define them in entirety. You know what I mean? You know, those big hits are definitely a moment in time for that band, but it's not where they stopped. You know, it's not where their talent stopped or their musicianship. There was so much to them underneath, and you know, incredible musicians. I love a trio. I love Aha.
Yeah.
I love the fact that there's sort of 3 letters in the title of the band and 3 members of the band, you know?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Things like that really, really well considered. Like they're a great 80s pop act, really strong. I love them.
And you got to remember when they released the Living Daylights for James Bond, that was a banger. That was a banger, that track, you know? And that's when I went, hang on a minute. There's more to this band, and there are more albums and there are more fantastic songs. For me, I think Morten Harket with vocally is something to be seen live. He's incredible, and they're all incredible. And Mags is a cutie. Mags is a great keyboard player as well, and very underrated as a keyboard player. I think he produced a lot of it before they even went into the studio, you know. And Morten knew what he heard. Morten knew what worked and what didn't by ear as well and feeling. But interesting.
Yeah, great. There you go, guys. I hope you've enjoyed our album review on Hunting High and Low from June 1985. Fantastic from Aha. What a beautiful album. Big hello to all of our Aha fans. Thank you for coming on board. Hope you've enjoyed the show. You guys probably know so many more anecdotes to do with every step of the way and all the recordings and clips. By all means, please get in touch. Write us a little note in the comment section of whatever platform you're listening to us on. Please like, share, rate and review and become a subscriber. Best thing that you can do to push us up the charts, which we've actually been doing really well at lately, is become a subscriber. It's free. Just hit subscribe, guys. And as soon as the episodes are released, you'll have them there ready to listen to. Best thing that you can possibly do is become a Patreon for as little as $2 a month. For $15 a month, you get the extra episodes where we sort of talk about behind the scenes stuff that's happening in our life as musicians and, talk about the industry and just sort of stuff outside of the industry as well, because we are often touring all around Australia with Rewind 80s bands. So come and see us live with Rewind 80s as well.
And the Patreon is patreon.com/the 80s Montage Podcast. Give us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. 5 stars. That would rock because that really helps us go up the charts as well. Big news for us. We're off to Darwin with Rewind 80s Band. So
Very
good.
exciting.
In June. Darwin, we're coming for you. I think we've had
timing
20
in June.
shows. Yeah, June, winter here. You'll love it. You'll be able to warm up to Take On Me, our version.
Absolutely. Good on you guys. Can't wait. And once again, big hello to all our subscribers and our Patreons all around the world. Big g'day to you all. We love you and thank you for the support, guys. And we're going to do a shout out next week. We've had heaps of correspondence come through from all our listeners. We're going to do a big wrap up of all the chats that have come through on our socials and in the comment section. So stay tuned for that next week, guys. We love you. And if it's music mateys
or cool shit from the 80s,
we're going to talk about it.
Unreal.